I am baptized. As a teenager, I was fascinated by orthodoxy and prayed for my mum to accept the faith. Later, after figuring out what religion really is, I started to consider myself an atheist at first, and now, having studied the materials from your school, I've decided to go through the baptism. I'm also working on a connection with my goddess Freya. In the state of I am, I asked the egregore of orthodoxy what it needed for me to buy myself out. It reminded me of an old promise, one I made in prayer, that I would give it the most precious thing I had. It turned out it was about my mum. The egregore fulfilled my prayer. Mum got baptized and celebrates the holidays. Does giving up my mum mean losing my connection with her? Will we either just stop talking or have a big fight over something? Thank you. Maria, it's good that you've put this into words, since you understand where this is leading. And you can already avoid quarrels if that particular outcome, completely breaking off ties, is not what you want. But you have understood everything absolutely correctly yourself. That is, the Christian egregore has, in a way, swapped one person for another. Very humane. By the way, considering that your mother and, in general, adults are supposed to come to religion consciously, really. Baptizing infants is, in fact, an inhumane act towards the infants themselves. And since your mother came to it consciously, yes, because the Christian paradigm itself immediately sets out the conditions for the newcomer. Detach yourself from your mother, from your own, from your father, from your husband. In other words, there is nothing more sacred for you than your connection with Christ. And here, it is precisely this principle that comes into play. Her connection with religion, with faith, or with the church as an intermediary becomes, or rather must become, stronger and more influential in her life than your connection. This connection will gradually become thinner. You will simply communicate with each other less and understand each other less. This is not the same strong bond that exists between a mother and daughter when they are truly connected, almost like Siamese twins. That is, one feels what the other feels. No, this bond will become thinner and thinner, and perhaps will remain only at a secular level again, if that is your intention and no one wants anything different. Because usually such separations, yes, are done surgically and end in great pain. That is, as a rule, with a complete break in the relationship for those who do not understand what is happening. But since you understand, you will probably be able to control this issue, that is to say, to set up the relationship in such a way as not to touch the sore wounds, to protect your own and not to touch hers, since new bonds, as a general rule, are stitched together raw with a live thread and will naturally hurt for some time afterwards. Yes, what I mean is, it is absolutely essential that you are prepared to let her go and follow her own path. She will inevitably do this in the event that her intrinsic connection with the egregorial system does not develop to the specific level where it starts to actively compel her to look for other suitable adepts for the purpose of connecting them to that same egregore. And then she might reach out to you. Or rather, not so much her, as the egregore through her. Usually, relatives do just that, because when the egregore weakens, it turns from a religious cult into a simple and not very pleasant sect. And then they simply start luring, capturing, deceiving, and so on. Well, how does this happen? You know how religious sects work, those that haven't yet gained the status of a cult. That would be my answer to you.